Hi everyone, it's me again, back for another video talking about whatever I'm going to be talking about today. I'm actually going to be talking about today my experience of my actual plastic surgeries that I've had, which was requested by Jerry Cody. I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you so much for your question and thank you for being a new follower. I assume you're a new follower. Thanks a lot for your question. Surgeries that I've had. Well, first of all, let me just say that the amount of surgery that I have had, I'd never thought I was going to have any of these things done when I was younger. I just wanted my breasts done, and that was it. And that was all I was really thinking about. That's all that really entered my head when I was younger. Um, it wasn't until I got a bit older that it occurred to me that, other parts need to be feminized and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that everyone should or needs to do these things, but they were things that became apparent to me along my journey that I wanted, and that made me feel a lot better about how I look when I've got no clothes on for myself. I've only ever done any surgeries for myself, and I just want to say to anyone else out there, if you're doing surgery for any other reason than because you want it, then I suggest you don't, because it's not going to affect your life positively. I can tell you that much, because having plastic surgery, regardless of being trans or whatever, if you're choosing to go and have plastic surgery, as in it's not something that has to be done, but as in that you're going to have done through choice, having surgery is a big thing, and it affects you physically and psychologically. So you need to be very sure about what you're doing, and you really need to do your research of who's doing the surgery for you. Don't go and have a surgery with someone blindly, or that you don't know anybody else that's been to see the surgeon. All the surgeries that I've ever had are through doctors who I've physically seen results on through friends. Don't go by pictures online or anything like that. You really need to do your homework. And the best thing to do, I think, is to always ask friends who've had surgery. So the friends that you know who've had surgery, you can look at what they've had done and ask their experience about the doctor and that, because you really need to build up a really good relationship with your doctor, or your surgeon, should I say, because this is the person who is cutting you up. So you need to be confident that you trust what they're doing, and you need to ask questions. You need to ask all the questions you want to ask, and if they say something that you're not happy about, question it. And if they're not willing to uh, give you the answers that you're looking for, even if everything else about them is what you're looking for, you need to find another doctor or surgeon, because you need to be completely happy with what they're doing, and hopefully your needs and questions will be catered to by them. So yeah, I just wanted to say that first. I had my breasts done in 2004 in London, because that was the first time I'd ever been to hospital or ever had any surgery. So I wanted to do it in London, and I went with Mr. Prakash, who is based in Harley Street, and I think he did Jordan's or Katie Price's first two breast jobs, and I think he did Sonia from EastEnders, and some other people, Stacey, I think, also from EastEnders. Um, so I went with him because a friend of mine had had surgery with him. Um, and now it's private, so you have to pay for your consultations and all that kind of stuff. But he's a very strict doctor. I mean, back then as well, he wouldn't even consider actually doing surgery unless I had a letter from my psychiatrist to say that I was trans, so that I couldn't pull out in any regard after the surgery or sue him or anything. And he was a great doctor. I had my operation in Highgate Hospital. I stayed for one night. I never had any pain with my surgery. I had under the breast incisions, but over the muscle, because I had a lot of tissue there anyway, and I didn't want to have my muscle cut through. Usually they do under the muscle when you don't have a lot of tissue for them to insert the breast into, so they replace them underneath your chest muscles. But this also involves them having to cut through your muscle, which I think is why a lot of people who've had that surgery, I've heard them say that they've been in a considerable amount of pain after their surgery. Whereas I had no, I mean, when I look back, obviously at the time it was the first time I hadn't had any surgery or anything, so it was uncomfortable, and I think it was more because I was scared about what I had done, that I sort of thought of that as pain. But looking back, it was just uncomfortable and it was a bit tight, because when you wake up after having your breasts done, they look nothing how you think they're going to look. Especially, it's been for me like almost 15 years now, so they've settled and they've dropped and all that. But when I woke up, there were these two lumps sort of almost underneath my armpits. The middle of my chest here was raised up. I had red stretch marks over everything, and I remember looking down thinking, what have I done? Because at first when I looked down, I couldn't see the breasts because they were like under my arms. Um, and then obviously it takes 6 weeks of healing, wearing a support bra and all that kind of stuff. So you have to look after your investments, as it were, and not be dancing around on poles in Shadow Lounge 2 days after your surgery and ripping your stitches out. Not naming any names. I say that with love because the person who I'm talking about I do love very much, a great friend. But yes, listen to what the doctor tells you. Um, there's no rush to get out and be at a club, 2 days later, just so you can show everyone you've got breasts. Stay in the support bra for 6 weeks and don't move. It's very important to listen to what your doctor says. You just paid out a lot of money for this surgery. You need to look after your investments continually and for the rest of your life. So that was I had that done, and then I went to the Philippines with my dear friend Dee Chanel, one of 3 visits over the last, I don't know, 8 years, something like that. And I had my waist reshaped with lipo. What they do is they basically take this whole section all the way around with lipo, with smart lipo, so it's a smaller lipo stick, so you don't get any bruising, well, not too much bruising anyway. And then they reshape your waist, so it goes in right down to the rib and then back out again, because you can't gain or lose too much weight from this area. So once it's done, it should stay that kind of hourglass shape. And funny with that surgery, even though it wasn't something I really planned on getting done, and it was only because my friend had it done, and she said, "Oh, get it. It really does make big results because even if you don't have hips or anything, you go in and out, it kind of creates more of a feminine shape." So even after I'd done it, I was kind of like, "Did I really want to get that done?" But that sounds bad now saying that, but you kind of think, "Oh, that looks good. I'll do that." But I'm so glad that I did do it now, and I think when you look back about when you have your surgeries. I think you would change the order of way you did things, and I think my boobs would be the last thing that I did because, you can fake those for quite a while, with push-up bras and all that kind of stuff. But your shape and your hips and your bum and all that kind of stuff, to me, is harder to fake. So I wish I would have done those things first and then got the boobs afterwards. But I think when you're trans, boobs are a very feminine part of being a woman, and I think that those are so important when you don't have them. So I kind of get that. So maybe, even having hindsight, I probably still would have done the breasts first because it's kind of, that's what we do. We need our breasts as women. It's really important. So I had my waist done with lipo and stuff, and I had this thing called hydrogel put into the tops of my bottom and some parts of my hips, but it's something you really need to kind of top up all the time, and it wasn't great on hips because they hadn't really sort of mastered how to do the hip thing. And I was not going to put silicone into my body raw in that respect. So then I had my nose done twice in the Philippines by Dr. Manny Kalayan. I had my waist done in Bello Clinic in the Philippines, in Manila. And then I had my nose done twice by Dr. Manny Kalayan, which is also in Manila. I had it done twice because I did ask him to break it and straighten it and stuff, but he changed the end of it and then he shaved down the front of it. It was unbeknownst to me that he didn't do the surgery that I wanted, so I went back the following year, and he sort of shaved it more for me for free. I just paid for the medical costs because it wasn't how I asked for it, and he said that it would look how I wanted it, and it didn't. And I still probably would have another nose surgery, but only if I had the money to just waste on having my nose done again. I'm pretty happy with how it is, and the thing with me is that I would go mad on lots of other surgeries if I had loads and loads of money to do it, but I don't. So I'm quite happy with the way things are now, and I'm quite happy to live the rest of my life with the surgeries that I've had done now, and that's it. But if I have the extra money at any other time, I may do a little bit of freshening up. So I had that done, and then in the Philippines as well, I had fillers put into my hips and my bottom about 5 years ago now, which unfortunately isn't permanent, and it does go down, kind of like when you have it done in your lips. So I need to really go back and get that topped up at some point. Like all things like that, it can be quite dangerous. If they hit a blood vessel, it can probably kill you. Like but you know, you're always taking risks with anything that you have done. This procedure that I had done in the Philippines, as far as I know, is not available anywhere else in the world. I think it's probably illegal anywhere else in the world. But the woman who's done it has been doing it for 20 years, and she knows what she's doing. I think I was her first Caucasian client, as it were, from London anyway. Because I think a lot of Australians go there because it's quite close. And then I've had my lips done. I have my lips done once a year. I had that done in London, and I had some lipo under my chin as well because I suffered with a sort of saggy part here. Probably still do a little bit. And obviously Botox, and I had a little filler put in my chin just to get rid of that sort of male line thing that we have there. And that's what I've had done. Again, like I said, there's lots of other things I probably would do if I had money to splurge, but I think it's important not to go crazy. I still wanted to look like me. I still wanted to have a family resemblance to the people that I care very much about. I still wanted to look like I'm related to my family, but I wanted to look feminine, and I didn't want to look like the boy that I was originally when I looked in the mirror, and that's the most important thing for me. And I think, you know, you need to realise that surgery will not change your life, and it will not turn you into a woman. It will make you feel better and confident about who you are, but you still have. But how you feel about yourself still comes from in your head, and how secure and comfortable you are with things. So surgery makes you feel better about yourself visually when you look in the mirror or you've got no clothes on. But at the end of the day, you have to be happy and comfortable and love yourself, because nothing else is going to change that unless you feel it for yourself in your own head. So yeah, that's all the things I had done. If there's anything you want me to go much more in detail about, then again, please leave comments in the comment section below. I put videos out every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time, see you soon.